But for the high achiever, one of the hardest things is letting go of control and delegating. But a part of what helps is when you have the right people in place. And that's something that I help my clients do, is make sure that you have the right people around you so that you can really stay in your genius and lean on other people and really be supported and stay in your CEO or your leadership role without doing it all yourself. Welcome to the Worth It podcast. I'm Megan Taylor, coach for the brilliant minds and the rare ones who are always growing. I have helped ambitious women and men, business owners and leaders from around the world with defining and expanding their unique work, having the relationship that they actually want, and creating the life that makes all of the work feel worth it. Every week on the podcast, we discuss the key pivots that I coach my clients on and the real work required in order to be a leader and the woman or the man that you're here to be. With that, let's get started. Today's episode is for my Miss Independents, my strong women, and the leaders who are heading businesses, corporations, growing movements in the world that are making an impact, building wealth, and who deeply value your relationships. So in essence, you are here to be a high performance athlete of life, and I respect that and I honor it. Now, just like any athlete, one of the things that you need to do, like think about the athlete who is the Olympian, who prepares for their highest performance moment. When they are getting ready to run that race, when they are getting ready to do the pommel horse if they're a gymnast, and they're ready to execute, that moment of execution, think about that like being the moment when you are about to make a pitch for funding with your startup, or you're about to give a presentation at work, or you're about to get on a sales call with a client, or you are about to go on a date, or you're about to get married, or you're about to sit down for a conversation with your kid. In that moment, everything that you've been doing to prepare for how to show up for these moments is an indicator of everything that you have invested in as it leads up to this moment. Who you are is an accumulation of who you've been being over these last years. It is the summation of your trainings, the way that you have trained your mind, your emotional well-being, your command of your energy, even your breath. And something that I've found is there reaches this clincher point for female leaders and male leaders as well, where when you're ready to elevate into a next level, whether it's in your professional life or in your personal life, the thing that you need the most is to have the right supports leading up to that moment. So if you have been trying to break through an income ceiling, or to make a bigger impact, or to attract a new kind of partner, or to make a big move, and you know that you're meant for more, but it's not here yet, what you need is to up-level the supports in your life. So I'm going to talk about what are the things to be investing in your life, the intangible and the tangible, the things to spend money on, the things that allow yourself to be supported. Because one of the biggest things that successful people do is invest in supports for themselves. You have probably gotten to where you are through the hard work ethic that you have. I have too, and I come from a family of hard workers, from a mom who was an entrepreneur, from a family who spent mindfully and frugally and has gotten to a point of having created real wealth. But there comes a point where you need to stop letting it be hard and to start doing it even more supported. This is about flexing your receiving muscles. So a lot of women are really good at pouring outward into your work, into your family, into your friendships, into your clients, into your kids. But you have this sort of resistance to receiving, and it limits your money. It limits the amount of love that you feel worthy of receiving. So it limits the relationships in your life, and it ends up capping you in certain areas of your performance, whether that's trying to make more money, make a bigger impact, or you have this like intuitive vision of what your life should look like. The main way to start expanding possibilities is to start expanding your receiving. So today we're going to do sort of a Oprah Winfrey style, like these are my favorite things. These are the top things to be investing in that always pay back in multiples. So this is about making a declaration of saying, I'm the type of woman who could do it all, but I choose not to. I am the type of woman who is successful and also deeply supported. I am the type of woman who allows people to love on me, nurture me, cherish me. I am the kind of person who is sought after in my field. This is about expanding and opening your heart and opening your receiving to good things. And when you do this, you start creating new possibilities from yourself, not from a place of lack, but from a place of deep knowing that life supports itself, that you deserve to thrive. And a part of that is being a good steward of the energy that you have and the money that you have. And also surrounding yourself with people who are actively floating your boat, because anybody in your world who is not actively floating your boat is actively sinking it. Let me say that again. Anybody who is not actively floating your boat is actively sinking it. So we're going to talk about the different investments for you to make. And I want you to make a wish list today of the investments that you want to make in the next year that are going to support you in getting to where you're going faster. So this is a new era of success with deep satisfaction, success with pleasure, success with support, success with right relationships, and really reaping the harvest of everything that you've been working for, but in a way that nourishes you and that makes all of the effort feel worth it, right? Which is the theme of this podcast. Okay, so here we go. The first area of investment, this is one of the areas I have invested the most in, is in having the right support. So whether that's the mentors that I have hired. So for example, right now I have a spiritual mentor and also a business mentor who's amazing. And those are some of the biggest investments and most long-term investments that I have made as well. So both of those, I am working with those people for 12 months or longer even. So this is about investing in supports that stay by my side and that get to know me intimately over the course of long term. So maybe you're like, Megan, well, I have invested in support, but have you stuck with it? You know, have you found somebody that you really feel like you can be authentic and honest with? Have you allowed, like, is this person challenging you to really reach your high heights? Because you bet your ass, like the Olympic athlete who is out here trying to be the best in their field, their mentors and coaches challenge them to reach their highest heights. So do you have somebody who's really helping you move beyond your stuck points? Really important to look at. Other areas of support include making sure that you have the right teammates around you. So whether you run your own business or whether you have a team, are you surrounded by people that you can really delegate to and count on? So, for me, I mean, in my corporate days, it included, I had a team of 50 people. So it meant like really keeping an eye on what was happening performance wise and making sure that we had a team that we could really run with, right? And, if you have certain people who are not holding up to the standard, first to look at yourself and see, is there a way for me to show up as a stronger leader? Do I need to roll out more trainings? Do I need to communicate more clearly? Do I need to be more honest about what I need and what I want and how I want it done? Am I empowering people to use their own creativity and their own strong suits, or am I micromanaging? So we want to look at these things, but then also not to hold on too long to somebody who's simply not a good fit. Being like having the wrong types of support around you can actually end up costing you more energy and time than it would to even just do the work yourself sometimes. And so, if you are like, don't be worried about hurting feelings. Sometimes things just aren't a good match, and it's actually kind of a mutual thing. So sometimes we need to cycle through a few people before we find like your dream team. So, for me, I have been working with a podcast editor who's been helping me with the podcast, and also have an OBM who's helping me get the word out and spread my work across different channels, and help me with the back end of Kajabi and things like that so that I can email my email list. And so with the right support, you actually end up being able to reach more people, and to be able to expand your work. But for the high achiever, one of the hardest things is letting go of control and delegating. But a part of what helps is when you have the right people in place. And that's something that I help my clients do, is make sure that you have the right people around you so that you can really stay in your genius and lean on other people and really be supported and stay in your CEO or your leadership role without doing it all yourself. So we're really breaking apart this ideology or this thinking that that you can't trust people or you have to do it all on your own, and to really set yourself up for success, especially professionally, with being able to delegate, lead, and get the support that you need so that you can do more with less. Okay, so so we talked about mentorship, the right support team, and then I want to talk about your sisters and your brothers. You need a close circle of sister friends or a brotherhood if you're a man. Life just gets more buoyant when we get to be around people where like you feel like you get to be your raw, real self. And I don't know about you, but like I am a multi-dimensional person. So I'm like super nerdy about business, but then also I'm a dancer. But then also I am entering into motherhood, and I love hiking. I love the outdoors. So I have kind of like different friends for different aspects of my life. It's like you don't always, it's like one person isn't your everything. So get a solid group of sister friends that you love spending time with, and where you get to celebrate the wins together, because it makes it so much fun. And because women are awesome, you know? So make sure and have that. Then another key support in your life, one of the best investments that I've ever made is, after working with a mentor to really cultivate myself as the woman that I wanted to be, I called in the man who was the match for that, who is now my husband, Daniel. And Daniel is one of the biggest supporters in my life. He calls himself my number one fan. And, he's like my best friend and my life partner. And having somebody whose judgment you trust, who you can let down your guard, who cherishes you, that pays 10 times fold. And yes, there is an exchange where I pour into him as well. But being with somebody where you have a shared set of values makes life so much easier. Choosing the right partner who supports you in the ways that mean something to you, who can help provide that frame, who can help be that wall that you can lean against, and that comfort around your shoulders is priceless. And so that's one of the biggest investments you can make. And it's not a one and done kind of thing. Like you can, I was talking to a client last week, and I was saying, next week I could bring you the perfect man for you. And he would look like this, and he would do this, and he would bring these things to the table, and he'd be setting up dates. And at some point, you would start getting uncomfortable with how good it is. And so we need to flex your receiving muscle to allow yourself to let in that really, really good, healthy type of love, which starts with you feeling deeply worthy, which starts with you expanding your receiving and allowing yourself to be seen, known, and loved for who you are, which is a big part of why working with a mentor in a relational context where you can be vulnerable, let your guard down, experience what it's like to go after your goals and be supported in an intimate way. It's not a replacement for a relationship, but it's like sometimes we need models for healthy types of relationships so that we can experience what it's like to be properly supported and cared for. And that is one of the best investments that you can make, because think of how tiring it is to keep your guard up all the time, And so when you find comfortability with yourself and allow yourself to drop your guard, you can call in a partner that you get to just be your natural self all the time, and at the same time, the relationship calls you to your highest versions of yourself, to your ongoing growth and to embodying your highest virtues. So, being in a relationship is like one of the most transformational containers and experiences that you can have. But choosing the right partner to do that with is super important. Okay, so first we talked about investments in relationships, mentors, friendships, your team, and right partnership. Next is having the right tools in place. So like one of the tools that I invested in is having the car that I really wanted. And about 3 years ago, I bought a almost brand new 2021 Nissan Rogue with all of the bells and whistles. And one of the biggest things about that was, one, it was much safer than my previous car. I loved my old car. It's a Honda CRZ manual, which is super fun, and I actually really miss it. But, it was low to the ground. It didn't have as many safety features. And I've kind of always had this feeling like I needed some extra padding around me to just be safe. And, also, I wanted something that could handle the snow, and I knew that I was pre-manifesting a future that included a husband and a baby. And so in trusting my vision, I put my money where my mouth is, and I bought the most expensive car that I've ever bought. And it has the moonroof and the all-wheel drive and the heated steering wheel and the heated seats and all the things. And also, it has 4 seats. So there's a spot for husband, there's a spot for baby. It has those doors that like open extra wide so that you can fit the car seat in it. And it has the bike rack for my bike on the back. And it has like everything that I need and all the safety features to keep me safe. And so it was kind of hard letting go of my like hot girl in the city car, as I call it. But how often are we clinging to something, whether it's like a particular style of clothes or the place where we live or the car that we have, because with that comes a certain identity. And what would it look like for you to make investments that actually shed that old identity and invite you to like pre-manifest what it is that you're calling into your life? So, I do that with my clothes as well. Like I love to use fashion as a part of my expression. And so, they say if you want to be a captain, dress like a captain. And I've taken that to heart, and it makes a difference, as an investment and a place to put your money is, your beauty and taking care of yourself and dressing yourself with respect. So if you're a woman, get your hair done, get makeup that you love putting on. I'm pretty minimalist, but like, I like a good liquid eyeliner. I put my mascara on. And I'm super excited because my skin is like clearer now than it has probably for my whole life. I think because I'm happy, also probably because I'm pregnant, but also I'm taking care of my skin better, So take care of yourself, I invested in some jewelry from HRH collection this year, and I love supporting small business owners with my investments. If you're a man listening, take care of your beard, get your beard oil on, shave it up, go to the barber, whatever you need, like taking care of what you have, including, things like taking care of your body. So investing in going to the gym, or maybe you like yoga, investing in body care. So, whether it's chiropractic or acupuncture or just things that allow you to stay connected to your body, healthy in your body, and confident, because the way that you walk into a room matters, at work, in the dating world, in life, in how you see yourself, in your confidence on a day-to-day basis, and also just your longevity and your sustainability. So take care of yourself and wear what embodies the woman that you want to represent yourself in the world. So if you want to be treated with respect and care, then treat yourself with respect and care. Super valuable is making these investments in it's not just appearance, it's not just a vanity thing, it's like self-respect, okay? So don't turn it around. I mean, beauty is valuable in its own right, and that's a real thing, and it's important that you feel confident, on a day-to-day basis. So that's another very worthy place of investing your cash. Oh, I also bought some new perfumes this year, and it just puts a whole new pep in my step when I like smell good. I got like my Ariana Grande spray, and there's another one, I can't remember who the maker is, but it smells really good. And my husband has like the men's version, so when we go out together, we have like matching scents. It's really cute. It's like our little signature. And sometimes we like dressing in outfits that match each other. And that's really fun and kind of a vibe. So I don't spend money on top labels. I really like going for particular style. So if I find something at a thrift store, that's great. If I find something at Nordrak, awesome. For me, it's more about how it looks than how much it costs. So that's another area to invest in. Okay, we talked about relationships, support, get a good husband or a good wife, the most important decision you can make. Get a good circle of friends, tools. I also invested in, like, speaking of tools, it's like your environments. So make sure that you have an office space that inspires you. Um, we moved into this house last April, and it is the the most beautiful house that I've ever lived in. It has an incredible view overlooking the city. I can see the Capitol building from here. I can see all of the trees with the changing nature. So, think about the investment in the views that you have on a day-to-day basis. Do you like where you're living? I need a space that's full of lots of light. Are you inspired by your work environment? If you do work where you do podcasts or you're on camera, do you have, beautiful spaces? How can you arrange your spaces so that you're inspired to be a creative? These are important things. And, also just living in a place where you feel safe. So I moved to Boise, which has been such an important investment just in my general sense of peace and safety and nervous system regulation. It's more down tempo here. The people are really friendly. It's like so safe here that people don't even lock their car doors. And so getting yourself like moved to the right place. And it's funny because I never really imagined like living in Idaho, but I was born here. And maybe you've heard in past episodes, I heard a voice, maybe it was my voice, maybe it's God's voice saying, that moving here was important. And so I made the decision to move here. But it cost me, effort and money and the courage to leave behind an old life to move here. And it's been one of the best investments because not only did I meet my husband here, but I found a different pace of life. And I got back in touch with my roots of having been born here. And I get to live in a place where at a deep, deep level, I feel safe. And it's hard to explain the value of what it is for your nervous system to feel safe at an animal level on a day-to-day basis. But the difference is astounding for my mental well-being, my energy, and also living in dry desert weather just feels really good for me. Like I feel lighter. So are you living in a place that inspires you and that makes you feel safe? Super important. So I could talk about a lot more investments to make, and you're probably like, Meg, but like, okay, that's a lot of investments. And it's like, yeah, well, you got to stack them and you got to see what's going to make the biggest bang for the buck for you. For me, the places that I don't skimp are with the right mentorship and the right support, because it makes such a difference being able to link up with people who can help you hold to a high vision, help you get out of your own way, to be able to navigate yourself both professionally and personally in the best way possible. Like my growth as a woman, because it's just in my nature that I love to always be growing. Spending money on the right mentorship is something I never skip on. I also never skip on, I always keep investing in traveling. I've traveled to over 30 different countries in my life. I've been super blessed, but I've also prioritized it financially. Keeps my mind open and fresh. I get to meet all kinds of people. It's a part of the reason why I have clients all over the world. Get to try different foods, get a change of perspective. And, I just love living in an international way. And then lastly, just making sure that you have the necessary tools, like to get done what you need to get done. It's like, sometimes it's the basics. It's like, my dog Kramer ate my freaking AirPods, and so I needed to get a new set. It's getting the lighting or the stand that you need so you can record the podcast. It's investing in, like, I upgraded my phone last year to get the phone I needed with like the right, the 4K and like the right amount of storage so I didn't have to struggle with storage. It's like, get the tools that you need, because remember, like, it's not just about the money that you spend, it's who you're becoming because of how you're seeing yourself as somebody who is worthy and investing a future into, who is creating something. And you get to use these things as tools, and it's so fun. You get to like, as you invest in yourself, when you surround yourself with the right mentorship, you keep your energy high and you stay in your lane of doing like the highest work that you're here to do. You open your receiving to receiving more money, more love, and you're creating from that place of knowing that more of it is coming in, as opposed to creating from a place of lack or holding love, holding money, withholding yourself. Like, if you've been finding yourself in a place of like working a lot and maybe having less social interaction and like not spending too much, you might be in a place of like holding, and you want to just open, open more, allow more people in, allow more support in, allow the money to flow, even just, here and there. And to be the woman who says, I trust that the money replenishes itself. I trust that there's more love in the world where this came from, and you don't need to hold tight to the money, to the relationships in your life, because this will allow you to continue to upgrade and up level. And it's not to say that the things that you have in your life right now aren't a good fit, but then again, maybe it is time to call in a new circle of friends, work with a higher level client, raise your rates. Maybe it is time to invest in mentorship. Maybe it is time to hire a nanny so you can get some support for the kids. We have to look at what you have. So make your list of all of the things that you would love to invest in this year, whether it's relationships, tools, wellness, gym membership. Make the list and then figure out what the priorities are, and then start stack ranking like what you want to invest in next that's going to help you move the needle forward on your goals. And if working with somebody like myself, if you've been jamming with what I've been saying and you would love to have somebody in your corner who can help you with making these decisions for your professional growth and your personal growth, to be able to bring your career or your business to the next level while loving the work that you do, keeping your energy fueled, keeping yourself nourished, relaxed, while also creating a deeply fulfilling life where you're surrounded by relationships that nourish you, and where like your work is fueling your spirit and giving you energy, and still having time and energy left to be able to give that to yourself, to your relationships, to your kids. That whole world is my jam. So if you have been loving this podcast and you want to have a conversation, do not hesitate to reach out. Reach out to me on Instagram at Megan W. Taylor. Shoot me a message, DM me the word coaching, and let me know the key takeaways that were standing out from this episode, as well as what your main goals are professionally and personally right now. And we can chat about it and see if we are a good fit for coaching. I have 2 spots open right now. So if you have one takeaway from today, I am wishing for you to open yourself to investing and allowing yourself to be even more supported and even more seen in what it is that you are doing next. With the right support and with the right tools, all of the dreams that are in your heart are completely possible. So continue to open yourself and ask, what would be the boldest thing that I could do this year to allow myself to be supported into my next level? Okay? And I will leave you with that. Thanks for being a listener. Please leave a 5-star review, and I will see you on the next episode. Hi, lovely. Really quick before you go, it would mean the absolute world to me if you found value in today's episode, if you would take a minute to leave a 5-star review for the podcast. This is going to help other powerhouses like you to be able to find it. Also, I love interacting with my listeners, so I would love to know more about what you thought about today's episode. If you take a screenshot and share it to your Instagram stories and tag at Megan W. Taylor, it's going to notify me, and I actually love to reshare your posts with my audience as well. With that, thank you so much for being a listener, and I'm wishing you a beautiful, productive, happy, sexy, lucrative week, and I will see you on the next episode.